Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Sense, and we're at the end of 2025 already. Where has this year gone? Well, to give you a bit of a treat and to round up really how 2025 has been in terms of the fragrance game, I'm listing my, I would say top, but it's more bottom 10, my underwhelming 10 fragrances for 2025 that I've purchased myself. So absolutely unbiased, honest reviews. I might upset some of you, but this is my take on it because essentially the message is none of them are blind buy safe. Always, always try to test and sample before you go ahead and buy. I'll keep it as short and straight to the point as I possibly can. But again, I'll give you my understanding and experience with some of the fragrances you see in front of you, but also there's more behind me as well. But I'll start off really with the ones that I was let down by in terms of the hype they received. I still find them to be usable, and I do give them the benefit of doubt. I bought them early on this year. Doesn't mean they were released this year, but earlier on towards the end this year, I may have purchased these, and I've given them a try. And I just feel I'm not reaching for them enough because they're not ticking the boxes in terms of what I look for in a fragrance. Now, I'm in the UK, so it's in the dead of winter, really cold. Bear that in mind. The climate itself is pretty mild to cold throughout the year as well. And I obviously have my favourites. I'll follow this video up with the top 10 of purchases, but this again is the bottom 10 fragrances. So to begin with, really a fragrance that I must give hats off in terms of its scent profile and how close it gets to what it's trying to be in terms of the option from Arabiat Prestige, which is Mahad Al Dahab. And I've recently reviewed this in short-term and long-term form videos. And what's really letting me down is not the scent profile, it's the longevity. Now, I've always gone about longevity not being the main factor that I focus on when it might come to choosing my best fragrances, but I will mark it down if there's a real issue with either projection or longevity. And unfortunately, I'm not the only one that said this about Mahad Al Dahab, although it ticks the boxes in being a spicy, uplifting, sweet, aromatic fragrance, very similar to Drunk Lovers from Braun to Stand Out. It's fantastic in its scent profile, but boy, this has an issue with its longevity. And I mean an issue. It's not just, oh, it fades away over time. No, after about half an hour on skin, I can't pick it up. And you might say it hurts your nose. I mean, I sound like I'm bunged up now, I am. But genuinely, yes, I get that you become anosmic to a certain sense. I'm not the only one. Many people outside of YouTube on forums have listed this as being a scent that just disappears way too quickly. It also doesn't linger too long on clothes. Longer on clothes, but on skin, it just disappears. Within the hour, it's pretty much gone. I've given it time to macerate. Has it got better? Ever so slightly, but nothing near it where it needs to be. So it might be a batch issue, and hence why this has let me down, because it's got the hype. Plenty of people, some people even said it lasts, so maybe it is a batch issue. But the majority of people on reviewing forums who have had this in their hands have said there is a longevity issue, and that's what I've experienced. Unfortunately, the scent itself is beautiful, but I've got to mark it down because there is an absolute issue. If something's disappearing from your skin within an hour, sometimes, you know, when I first got it, it was 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, it was gone. So it depends. That needs to be a warning for anyone willing to get that. So that's that out of the way. Now, this, I will upset many of you guys, seems to get an absolute top. This was purchased on the back of being on everyone's top 10 best perfumes ever. I don't get the hype. For me, again, I find it very light. It doesn't project. It's very powdery, musky in a sense, very light, airy, irisy, even though iris isn't listed as a note. People talk about it being dark and mysterious. I don't get any of that. I get it linear. I get it to be very quite boring, a bit too airy, a bit too light. Don't find it to be dark and resinous or any of that stuff. Powdery, way too powdery. And again, I've given it time to grow on me and like, and I do keep trying and going back to it, but I'm sorry, just not impressed. I find it too boring. Sorry, Prada Black. Try before you buy. Don't believe the hype reviews that it gets. You might like it, you might not. And again, something that I feel like I appreciate as a scent and what they've done here for Frag Lovers Tea from FOMO. Now, I've banged on this year. Many of you who watch my videos know that I love tea in a note as a scent. And across the board, my favourite scents this year have been tea-based fragrances. Now, Frag Lovers Tea definitely focuses on that. Where this, I feel I've had to add it, and I've been honest, I love tea. But sometimes when you love a note, you also notice when you feel it's not done as well as you'd like, or they've just gone too niche with it, and they've gone too niche with it with this. The reason I say that is that the Frag Lovers Tea focuses on the dark, black, airy, thick, earthy tea notes. And throughout, it's quite linear. It's very dark and earthy and black tea-ish throughout, from beginning to end. The first 5 minutes can be a bit paint strippery-ish. I know that, very harsh. It's not going to be made of the best ingredients to get the notes and the profile. I pick up a hint and a likeness to Le Labo Noir. And the reason I say that, I love Le Labo Noir. I wouldn't spend the money that costs, because that has a real black tea earthiness to it. However, what I appreciate that Le Labo Noir have and do is they've got a creamier, uplifting edge to theirs. And it transitions from being that earthy tea, black tea note to being fresh, and then uplifting and creamy as well. This just has the earthy, dark, resinous tea note throughout, to the point where it gets me feeling a little bit nauseous. So that's where I feel I've not reached for it. I've given it time to macerate. It really wants to go back, and I appreciate the tea note, I do. But it's just too earthy and too dark, too linear, too thick, and I find it very difficult to find a time to wear it. Hence why it's added the list, where I feel didn't get too much hype. People who have reviewed it have said good things about it essentially, but it's definitely one to try. Similar to this seems to be an oldie goldie, I believe, and I was sold by one of Ross's videos to say, I mean, what can I can't really go up against him, but it just doesn't fit the kind of scent that I appreciate and like. And the reason I say that, I feel it's a little bit too feminine leaning. It's more of it's got lemon, it's got citrus, mandarin, definitely a lot of vanilla, gin and mint in there. And I think that's what I don't appreciate. It's got like a sickly sweet popsicle vanilla-iness to it, which with a hint of mint, and that mint and the citrus and vanilla, just mint and vanilla, just for me doesn't go. And it makes me feel a little bit sickly because of the sweety nature to it. I appreciate the price and then the blend of it and how long it lasts. It ticks a lot of other boxes, but again, I've just not reached for it. I've not found an opportunity to wear it. I've given it a try, and it's definitely one you have to sample beforehand. Right, okay, let's go to others. Now, I'm going to go into my probably worst vibe, but I'm going to take it easy because this isn't, I appreciate it. Haramain Detour Echo, which is supposed to be trying to dupe, I believe, Parfums de Marly PDM Haultain, if I've got that right. Their green bottle, essentially. Very much a winter-based fragrance, spicy, aromatic, thick, oody, woody fragrance, perfect for the colder weathers. What this has is the world's best atomizer. I'm not going to spray it because I don't want my whole room to smell. It lasts, it projects, it ticks those boxes. Fantastic. One of the best atomizers I've ever seen. But boy, it has this plasticky opening, really, really pungent, burning plastic rubbery smell from the opening, and that just sticks around for too long. It just really does. And once I picked up on that, it's not gone away. People say with maceration it gets better. It hasn't seemed to have gone away. So what I say is, if you like that, there are alternatives out there. I will say one of them that stood out, which was very inexpensive, was Junoon Hamidi, which is a non-alcoholic based fragrance, water-based, I believe. Very much similar profile, you see by the colour scheme, going by the same things, but it doesn't have that plasticky opening to it. So I was appreciating of that, and that was really inexpensive, less than 12 to 15 pounds that did. So that's there. Right, other ones that I'm getting into now. I'm getting more into the ones that are just a bit too, what's the word? When they become across too synthetic. Again, earlier on in the year, I believe, this isn't a release for this year, but I purchased this off the back of, I'm not going to name him again, but it's another reviewer that really gave it a lot of gas at the time. I think it was before Volcan Fou, the blue one. Is that from French Avenue? Before that was, this was one of the early mango, oody, fresh, mango gourmandi, fresh, fruity, oody style scents, musky scents. Mango Bliss Ophidian from Paris Corner. It's just too synthetic in its thick, syrupy mango scent profile. Essentially, that's what puts you off. It's not got a fresh mango scent about it. It's got a thick, gloopy, synthetic, tinned mango syrup scent about it. Syrup, not even the mango, it's the syrup. That's what I get from this. That has the woodiness in the background and muskiness there as well. But because of that synthetic nature, it's not uplifting, it's not fresh, it doesn't give me summer vibes in that sense. So therefore it's off-putting, and it's too sickly sweet because of that. So that's there. Now, we're getting into the ones that were just meh. This one I have to mention. Guys, yes, it's cheap as chips. I picked this up for less than £10. I think it was £6, £7, £8. It's a tiny itty bitty bottle, Jaguar Classic. If you see many of the car-based fragrances, bar Mercedes-Benz, I know that gets a lot of hype. Probably that is great. Bentley, some of them are good. This is just this is just this is just a blue peppery spray-on fragrance. I mean, just spray. If something smells bad in the bathroom or whatever, just spray this. It doesn't smell great. That's the thing. It's just so simple, so basic. Shouldn't be getting reviews for anything. A pepperiness blue fragrance. It's just very boring. It's like the cheap deodorants you'd possibly get. Don't bother spending money on them. Right, we're going into the other ones. These are the ones that were probably my biggest disappointments of this year. And I will come back to this one here. Fire and Ice from Lattafa, which is supposed to be Paradis, Angel Share Paradis. That whole boozy Angel Share with raspberry note on top. I again got this discounted £12 to £15 quite early on in its release. It was a lot. It was close to £30 to £40 in stores, but I got it on offer. And I really appreciated the profile. I actually preferred Valhalla from Rayhan. But as I got this, one of the things that I noticed from the opening was that it was extremely synthetic. Well, I found it synthetic. Many others may not. I found that it had a burning plasticky smell. Or not even burning plastic, but the way I described it is if you've ever worn, we call them in the UK, shell suits or training suits, you know, the kind of polyestery material where you go, back when you were growing up and used to have those sporty outfits. You stand too close to a gas fire in the winter and it singes. It's that singeing, that smell you get from the singeing, burning, warm fire, that little bit of tingliness that you get up your nostrils is the scent profile I get from here. It's almost like a really highly alcoholic-y synthetic smell. And that's just makes me think of the whole thing being too synthetic. I find it too sweet. Don't get enough raspberry in terms of natural raspberry. I get very syntheticness from this and from the whole profile. In fact, I've held back. I prefer On the Rocks Angel Share DNAs than I do the raspberry take, which is Paradis. I just find that too synthetic. Hence why, again, I've not reached for it. I've given it time to see if it macerates better. I just get that personally, just don't feel like it does my vibe any good. And I've talked about Mancera. Probably what started my videos off was my absolute disgust at how much hype not only Oud Lemon Mint got, but Mancera perfumes and fragrances in general. I've tried in the store so many of them, and I must say, if there is a house I've been disappointed with in 2025, as I've expanded my collection, Mancera is that house. Sorry, prove me wrong. There are others. I've gone and tried them. They are okay at best, but the majority of them, the absolute majority of them, including this, are so synthetic, cloying. Yes, they might last, but this is the typical example of if something lasts, it doesn't mean it's good. It's got to smell nice. It's got to have a pleasing profile. It's got to be beautifully blended. It's got to have a nice transition to it. It's got to use quality ingredients. I feel the majority of Mancera fragrances are there just to be powerhouses, but they are highly synthetic. They may last, but they're not well blended. They come off as being very harsh throughout the not only opening, but throughout the period of them lingering around. And they're relatively expensive. I got this luckily around £60 to £70 discounted. Okay, this is the 120ml. Barely touched it. It lasts a long time. It does last for days on clothes and absolutely the whole entire day on skin. Does it smell oudy? No, no oud whatsoever. If you think this has oud in it, then please go and smell proper oud. It doesn't smell funky. It smells synthetic. If it's got oud in, it's got highly synthetic oud. Has it got lemon in? It's got lemon pledge cleaner in. Has it got mint in? No mint whatsoever. Yes, it's got a lot of almond in there. That should be called almond lemon pledge synthetic oud would be a beautiful name for this. Sorry. Peeved me off because to this day, so many fragrance reviewers gas this and say it's in their top one of Mancera's, and it's not a summer-based fragrance. Don't get it mixed up. If you've tried this, you'll know. Wearing this in the high heat in the summer, you will absolutely peeve people off. It is too much of a pause. It's not a fresh fragrance. In fact, it should be on a cooler evening, maybe even towards the autumnal seasons, in the cooler periods of time. But yeah, don't go in with high hopes. You have to try this before. All of the Mancera fragrances, there's only one I appreciate and I've liked. And again, it's not named after what it smells like. It smells completely opposite to what it's named like. I can't even remember it. I've not bought any more for that reason. Mancera, you've let me down massively this year. And Oud Lemon Mint is one of the biggest letdowns of this year. Right, to finish off with, again, this is more recent. This is the tropical collection Odyssey Bahamas. So supposed to be a tropical, fruity, cantaloupe, melon, oceanic, salty, holiday, taking you to the beach kind of scent. I've never smelt Lawrence Pizzaglia's Summer Hammer, I believe. Never smelt it, so who knows whether it smells like that. All I get from this is a blue shower gel oceanic aquatic fragrance. Very little to hardly any fruitiness in terms of its melon. Maybe a hint of melon in there, cantaloupe. No, just lots of sea salt, lots of blue, typical cheap blue Radox shower gel in the shower fragrance. Nothing summery, nothing fruity, nothing uplifting in that sense. Very linear, very boring. And nothing Bahamas related. Don't know why it got the hype when it launched. I know they launched with loads of these, and some of these said this stood out. Don't bother falling for it. So there you are, guys. Let me know if I missed anything out. If there's anything else to add in, let me know what you think of the watch. The Citizen, I've gone for the other beautiful goldeny brass green, khaki greenish brown dial in that. I'll be setting out, swapping out the strap in that. Anyhow, have a great Christmas and New Year when it comes. I'll release a couple of more videos for us. But thanks for joining. Let me know what is your 2025 flop of the year and what you would add. Like, subscribe even, share, do what you like, have fun, spend time with the family, recharge your batteries, and take care.